I get some players like, you know what? Your tournament sucks. I hate your refs. I'm not coming again.
Have what you say that you're going to have in the pot. First place, $1,000. Second place, $600. Third place, $200. Once that money is allocated and it is sent out, everything else is none of your fucking business.
We're here talking with David Velez, Mr. King of the Court champ, Mr. handball promoter. You've been throwing tournaments for how long exactly?
Been 10 years now.
What year did you start?
So I started 2014, but it's more like a random event. And I was hanging out with my friends. We decided to do like a low C tournament. It was a low C event for beginners, right? And I was watching somebody host a tournament in Knickerbocker.
You're originally from Nick?
Well, it made me who I am. So yes, I'm from there mostly. But nobody knows, like, I started playing Linden Park and then I transferred to Knickerbocker and it made me who I am. But not many people know about me, but I'm also Team 88.
I remember you at 88.
I'll be okay if you say either I'm 88 from Knickerbocker, I'm good with that. Because those sparks made me who I am. And
you wanted to throw a tournament of your own just because you saw other people do it?
It was like a joke around with some friends.
Okay.
And they, David, you should throw a tournament just on Saturdays for hell of it. And at the time I had no Facebook, so I didn't know how to connect with people. And I had a friend who had Facebook, so he reached out to a lot of people. I didn't know how that works. You know what? Let's see what happens and let me know that they're coming. First time I threw, C singles, and I had a full bracket of 32 teams. At that time, I didn't even compete that year. I was just a local guy that was just hosting an event. But I hosted it once or twice in that year. After that, I stopped playing because I was playing baseball the past few years. I started competing in 2016 as a C player.
As a C player?
People saw my game and saw my potential. I was banned from C's from word of mouth.
Throwing events was like a very early on thing for you. What kept you going for 10 years?
At first, it was just a friend thing. It wasn't my intention to make it as an annual thing or my passion for it. Like 2016, I decided to do it again. But I love singles, so most events I throw was singles events. Around that time, the singles event was dying out, so I was trying to like bring that back. And I was getting it every time. There was at one point that I hosted a tournament back to back in October from week 1 to week 4. And every tournament I had was like literally 32 teams.
Those years was really great for me because at the weekend now out of school or even on the summer when you don't have school, I got something to do every weekend. It was an awesome feeling to travel places, go play people that I never played against. It was an awesome thing for me. I remember that.
For sure, but then also to answer your question again, what inspired me to host a tournament?
Yeah.
One time I was at a tournament at Fort Hamilton, hosted by Adrian and Reggie. Their brand was called Shoot to Kill. Their event was so local and invitational, but a good turnout. The way he threw was so smooth. There was little tense games, but it was all love. And they did it just for them with peace. It was never a big issue with anybody else. Like, they knew who to pick. There was no complaints about no payout. They were grateful, and the trophy was made. You know people order trophies that will come set?
Yeah.
They'll come like these broken pieces. They'll fix it up. They'll make it. But that part I didn't want to do. I was like, that's not work. I'd rather just have them do it for me, right? It's easier that way. But I love the love they had, and we don't lose. It was all love, and they would do it constantly, and it made me want to do it again.
Let's talk about the trophy thing since you brought it up. I feel like in the handball community, we don't do a lot of trophies like how it used to be, I guess.
Because New York is very spoiled. Because their value is money. And nowadays, it's never about title anymore. Even title. If you notice, like, you see Ray Lopez, George, and Rookie, like, back then, the payout wasn't even that big. Like, Doing King the Court at first did like $500.
Right, because back then they was paying like $5 an entry fee, or even like if it would be a free event if you had sponsorships like White Castle. Or
so like the third players was like $100. But guess what? They went that a good time. And you know why? Because it was just the money, it was the title, and who is playing it. The legacy that you bring, the honor and glory, is what motivates them to play in the tournament. Nowadays, they're not educated with that. So they felt like, okay, this sport is more of a hustle, so we need money. There's no money involved, there's no interest.
But they came a respect with the hustle, as in like, okay, people are playing at the parks, they're hustling for $5, $10 every single day. That's their side hustle. But when it came to a tournament, it was not just about the hustle anymore. It was about to see who really is the best player amongst us.
Now it's less people feel that way. Like me, like I want to be the best, right? Like Timbo, like the Dan Petrie's, right? Like these guys have that mindset. Most people don't see that way because they don't have that certain guidance.
So would you say there was more sportsmanship back then compared to now?
That was bad as now. Bad. Back then it was cursing. It's just back then I felt like they tolerated more. Like they'll curse at you, no penalties at all. Now, any trash talk, they'll use that for an excuse for them to lose.
Okay.
Like, oh my God, the guy took my shot and he took a crap on me. Back then, you barely saw that.
We have a lot of arguments that happens in tournaments now. Even, for example, our last game that just happened, there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of arguing from both teams. Was it the same thing back then as well?
Yeah, for sure. There wasn't no discipline. Like, no way to put the foot down.
So, if anything, it got better with that now.
Only because of that one person, which is Larry. I think he's the reason why that most refs put their foot down because he's always coming bigger and better. He's always trying to come up with something new, and most people stay quiet because he realized that in part of the game, when you ref a tournament, it's all about control. Like at the end of the day, you make the call, and he knows why he was hired for. I feel like we have to remind people that because in reality, the players that we're reffing are our friends. They don't want to risk that by losing friendships. Me, I lost a lot of friends because of that.
From reffing?
From over calls that they didn't like. And next thing you know, they'll block me on Facebook or they'll ignore me. They act like if I was like talking to their mom or something like that, right?
They acting like you cheated them on purpose or something.
Yeah, but guess what? Yes, it shows two colors, but also mentally wise, I can't be leaning with a lot of people now. If a friend bothers me or anybody else, that means that I got to treat everybody equally.
Okay.
That's the purpose. It's about being fair. I'm showing people that being fair, honest, is what makes you great reps. You could tell based on the energy. But for example, have you heard like conflict of interest where people ref their friends' games? I don't ref my game because that's their friend, they from the same park. Me, I don't like that. I'm fair. I'll always take handball over friendship. Like, don't put our friendship on the line. It's about business. That's nothing personal, right? I never had an issue with that, right? But people do. If I play Town 1, right, and my rep is Nas, I want to rep my game because now he's going to prove to me he's honest. If you cheat me on Town 1's game, that means I can't trust you in any other games. To me, reffing a friend's game is your big test. Because that will show you that if you're fair in your friend's game, that means you're fair in every other games.
Listen, we're all friends in the community. It doesn't matter whose game you're gonna ref. In some shape or form, you're his friend because we're a small community. We know each other. In Europe, right? It's a pot event. You put in money. You play the event. People watch the lines and everything for free. They're doing the same exact thing that we're doing. It's less controversies going over there. Less argument going over there. It's more professional over there. We had a decline in the handball community for a long time. I feel like we had a decline because of these unsportsmanlike conducts. Before it used to be worse. Arguments and like what the tournaments would let more things slide. I feel like in every sport it was more like that. Like they say basketball back in the day was more rough and rigid, and then compared to now basketball, they say it's more soft. They had an incline in basketball. So do you think the decline of our sport has to do with the organizations that's throwing these events? Like we just as an organization, like Wall Ball Universe just has to get better and better at throwing events? You think that would be the key to growing the sport? Because these players are not helping themselves but with their behavior.
Everybody has a part doing that. Not just hosts, because at the end of the day, whether we're hosts or refs, we're all players. It's all about education. Show a little kid how to play it. If you show them the right way and how to treat it better, the future, they're gonna follow that footsteps, right? So it'll be bigger and better. Right now, it's a little bit corrupted because they have an old school mindset. Now in tournaments, right, the payouts. Perfect example. You win first place in New York and they don't pay you, World War III is coming. You go to Massachusetts, I'm there for experience, right? I've seen a guy win first place and Opens over there. He got a trophy, no money. I thought they might feel some type of way because they feel like they're getting robbed, right? That's what I'm thinking. You know what was their reaction? Nothing. They're there with the Modelos, drinking, laugh, had a good time. Yo, great tournament. I can't wait for the next one. So to answer the question from before, it's all about mindset. And I feel like our mindset is different from everybody else's. For the money part, at least try to use that to invest handball. And I felt like most of them are doing it for themselves. Like prop dollars, right? They won first place. You really think the money they have is for handball? No, it's for themselves. They'll probably use that for weed or for rent or with some chick or whatever that is, right? But it ain't from handball.
Or gambling, right?
Or gambling, right? Anything, right? Anything, right? But it's not handball related. And that's the issue. And I felt like we have to lead by example and try to build together as a team.
But I'm not really worried about the money. What I'm worried about is that, guess what, guys? If we treated everybody with some sort of dignity and respect, we could really take this sport to another level. Forget everything else. If you are not actively trying to cheat your opponent to get some money, that's where it all went wrong with us. That's how I feel.
Well, the first person who thought about it was a good idea to do that, those 100% payout, ruined it for handball. My thing is that the mindset we have. New York, we're not okay with that when people pocket money for themselves. Other people, other states, they don't care about that because they have a good time, right? It's all about mindset. That's all there is. Like a month ago, they had a kids tournament at IS-10, and first place was free entry for the kinder courts. They didn't care about the payout. They were happy with the fact that they're in the kinder courts. What that tells you about the players now and the future kids. It was never about the money. It was all about the title. And back then, they didn't care about the high payout because it was more pride. It was more honor. So that's why they go all out. Ray Lopez had a good serve. Pee Wee had a good serve. Rookie with his fundamentals. they're going all out for $200. But they don't care about that. They care about the title. I feel like nowadays we don't see that anymore. All about what benefits them. And I felt like that's what killed the sport, in my opinion, and many more factors.
You actually agree with what they're doing everywhere else, like Massachusetts or in Europe? I don't want to say pocket the money because that has a bad stigma to it, but they're not giving out the money. They're just trying to elevate the sport with whatever they get. And you agree with that aspect of the sport?
So I do agree. If you're pocketing money, do it for sport. If you do it for yourself, I want to support you. But I feel like every pocket you make from handball has a purpose, and it's about handball. To this day, I play every event. I never complain about any payouts. But I felt like if you're gonna pocket it for handball, great. Felt like that's gonna benefit all of us. That's where I see it. But if you're taking money and there's no meaning to it, it might be a little problem.
I don't want to use the term pocket money because that has a bad stigma to it, but how would you grow the sport with that money?
To answer your question, let's go back to with the USHA, right?
Okay.
I felt like what they did was correct. In the Bs, with never payouts, there's only opens. The A's, right? Amateurs never get paid. Every sport in amateurs never gets paid. Handball is the only sport that gets paid. So that's not good because now you're taking the value of the A's now. So now the Bs don't get the A cards no more because it's more money to the Bs. So what's the point of getting A cards if they're making more value than what we're doing?
Yo, that's a fact, right? So now if we're giving out money for the Bs, they have no more strive to go for the opens. But like, let's say if we only kept the money for the open players who are the best players in our sport, they would thrive to get to that place. Oh, that's an excellent point.
So that's why you have to prevent the payouts. Some fine, but not too much. If you noticed recently, matter of fact, here's your A card. Oh man, I'm gonna miss the Bs.
Absolutely, I don't want my A card for that same reason.
Yeah, it's not because they love the Bs, because what's in the value of the Bs. The part battles, right? First place was way more than yesterday's tournament in the opens. And we're the hardest players. Imagine A's had to go through Timber all the time, through Los all the time, Tavo all the time, especially in singles. And we're getting first place $500, while the Bs are getting $4,000 or more. Something's wrong here because somebody started with the whole payouts and pleasing people. You can please people, but you're doing it in the wrong message. You're not sending the right message to the people. You're supposed to motivate them and elevate them and educate them to promote them as an A, not only just as a player, but as a role model. You want them to grow, but we're still treating it as a street sport. Knowing that, you say something, it's many if factors, right? People drinking, smoking. I understand we're outside. And handball players like yourself and anybody around us, right? We know that that's an if factor. If we be more respectful, the people will see that and they will invest in the sport that we love. I feel like they don't want to because they see it as a ghetto sport. And that starts based on our performances and how we do here.
Okay, so you touched on you appreciate the way the USHA does. That's the way that it should be done. Our B players, essentially, we should not be getting that money until we reach a certain platitude in the sport.
Even though the Bs don't get paid in the Bs, but they'll give you other achievements, right? When you place in the Nationals, they put you in the Hall of Fame in the future. You know, Hall of Fame, all the recognitions, right? And then when it opens, they sponsor you to travel places. That's amazing. You feel like you're a celebrity in the world. That pocket money, that's an investment. That's the right cause. You hold the money for the players and the future. Now, if you step up, now you bring different tensions, you bring more value. Now the B's want to play the opens now because now there's more value now. That's how you push them to the A's. And now when they get the A card promoted, they'll be happy now. Because now they're seeing value because of what you do and your achievements. Handball will be in a better place. I felt like they did a great job with that. I feel like now you got a lot of competitions with the US Opens, the King of the Court. Now there's more money to that.
Regular pod events that happens every single weekend.
Yeah, the money's like 10 grand, which is great, right? But you need purpose with that, right? Nationals been around for 100 years. 100 years. And it takes one promotion to overshine that because of money. The hustle part can knock them, but is it really about the money? Because we work, right? We got money. We here. Even we started playing handball, right? We didn't start playing handball because of money. We started playing because we love this sport.
You want to test yourself, get better at the sport, everything.
We got so good. You want to play the best to see how good you are, right? Oh my God, who's this guy? Who's this good? You know what? Let me play him. Is it about the money? No. It's about earning respect. And that's what it's all about.
It's a glory, too. When you win that King of the Court title, god damn.
Nobody knows, but I manifested that. Like, I had a dream that I would King of the Courts.
How did that feel, though, by the way, winning King of the Court? Like,
all right, in person, I was like, But back then, like, I'm like, I can't wait. This is my moment, right? but it does feel good. Maybe at the time, I didn't really sink that in, but I went home like, wow, I finally did it. If my journey of winning king was different than others, I was trying to be something different. I tried to do what others won't, right?
Touch on what you were trying to do different. How long did you have to manifest that for?
So you have to learn about fundamentals of the game, right? But to be the best, you have to play the best. That was my main training. Nobody knew I wanted to be a player. I was training with Timbo and Kadeem every mornings from Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at West 4th. And we were training for King of the Courts.
What year was this, by the way?
2018. That year, Timbo won it.
You're an A player at 2018?
I was B player. So we were training for King of the Courts. At the time, Kadeem and Timbo were the top dogs.
What was the record there? Like, were you getting your ass handed to you, or?
I lost most of the Timbo. Kadeem would go back and forth. For a B player, it's not bad, right?
Timbo, like, the scores were close?
Some were close, some were lost, but most was close because I was learning the drive, the mindset. The drive cannot be taught. You got it, or you don't got it.
Timbo got the drives?
For sure. That's different to him and many other players. He's won a lot. He proved it. Any event you think of, he's won them all. He's won games that I didn't think he ever pull out. That man would play like 5 events an event. Open singles, open doubles, open nicks, small ball. He won all that in one game.
Yeah.
That's never been said. That's rare. His different mindset with drive is what motivated me to find my drive. At some point, I was finding my drive and trying to understand more on my fundamentals.
Okay.
That's why I was always up there with these guys.
So in 2018, you were aspiring to become a champ, King of the Court champ.
Yeah, that's not how I started. But definitely, that was like the icing on the cake.
I know you started throwing events, but you also wanted to be a player.
At the time, I didn't see no point because I was around people around tournaments. So you're like, hey, Dave, you want to compete? I'm okay. Like, I didn't have the guidance. Like, no one explained to me at the time until I meet other people and they'll explain to me, okay, do this because you're a good player and show what you're about.
When I spoke to Izzy, he told me that he was trying to get you to stop throwing events and become a player. Is that true?
For sure, because I'm a handball player. He's a businessman. And he felt like businessmen should always take over him, which is great. You're supposed to. When you know about business, especially the sport that you love, you should make it big. Why do you think that hosts tournaments and Brian Morales and Mike, right, from Memorial, why didn't players doing it? Because nobody's really stepping up. They're playing too safe. They're not bringing anything to the table. You're doing the same thing what we're all doing right now. Nothing changed. But my thing is that I don't mind. Like, let's say Izzy find a way and makes handball big, right? I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll become a player. But since I'm not seeing that, and not just me, I'm pretty sure most people see that. So somebody try to step up and try to find some ways to elevate the sport. So it's taking us because they're not doing it.
If you really leave the handball thing to the businessmen and they do what they do you think you, Brian, and anybody else that throws park events or type of events that you're throwing, you think you're essentially hurting the business? Because you're doing pot events, you're giving out money, you're saturating the market by giving money to the B players, which organizations are not doing, like USHA. So do you think if you stepped away right now, it would be better for them and the sport as a whole?
I don't know. But I know there's an issue because it's never business. It's just people having fun and throw tournaments. The only issue I think is when someone trying to conflict on the tournaments because the players have to choose. And I don't think it's fair for players to choose.
We're in a point in handball history where it's like B players don't want their A cards because they're getting an alternative way to make money, which is through events like yours or Brian Morales or Handball United or whoever throws these weekly tournaments. So it is ultimately hurting the organizations like USHA, Impact Pro that does the US Opens.
I mean, it's really hard to try to figure out what's best for the community, right?
It's a tough question.
It's a really tough question, right? So we don't know. Honestly, we don't know. But if I was to guess, but I haven't done it yet, I think like you know like in pickleball that point systems.
Yeah.
We should have point systems, right? And then at a certain level, that's when you get paid a certain amount. So like, let's say you're not a pro, right? Well, you're a semi-pro. I feel like you might get some money out of it, right? You know what? Like, hey, as a C player, you win first place, no prize, right? Then you're only top B gets paid like probably like $200. For your A, you get paid like $1,000, right? And then that will show value of the caliber level that you want to be, because you bring a value to as a player.
Okay.
Right?
So what's preventing you from doing that?
Time and years, because I can't do it one day. Because it's politics and Right
There's
now,
a lot of politics because if you switch that, there's gonna be a lot of heat on you because now other people would have to switch as well.
Exactly. I felt like that's too soon. I felt like I should do that to the newer players, like the kids. Start with them. I feel like the players now too corrupted, and maybe some will follow my footsteps if they see if the process I'm doing works. Right now, we just don't know. We're just playing safe, and we don't know what's best for the handball community. But the only way we can do it, definitely the kids. We teach them, lead by example. They're gonna follow our footsteps, and they're gonna do what we do because it makes more sense. It gives the reason why this should be promoted as an A player. Every new level is more value. Playing a fighting game, right? You beat one fighter, next round gets harder and harder, right? But the harder people you beat, the more prize you get. That's the way it should be. It's backwards. C's, $500. B's, $2,000. The A's, $200. It should be always up, up,
Okay.
up. It's not about the money, right? It's about the system. It's out of place, and it's based on opinions.
Okay.
It should never be opinions, always be facts. I feel like now when I keep tabs on their performances, I'm doing it right now. I'm always updating documents for myself, own notes. I know who's playing good ball. I know who's doing it consistently, and that's the right way of promoting them at the pro level. That's the way. That's my intentions, and I feel like we should focus more on that instead of the hustle.
We spoke about, okay, the money should go to the open players. Where else do you think the money should go?
The organizations, so they can invest like handballs and trophies. USHA always comes in clutch every year because they use that money to invest. You look at medals, beautiful medals, worth playing for. I understand with some stupid looking medals, but that has meaning to it. The way it's made makes people want to play for that medal.
Right.
I came in second place like 2 years ago in doubles. I was so happy because the way it looked on my wall. It's the way you bring the meaning to the table. It's all about what you bring to the table.
Let's say somebody sponsored $1 million to you. What are some things you would start implementing in this new tournament that you're gonna throw?
The money like that, I'll always hire linesmen and main refs.
Okay.
Hell yeah, because right now we're not there yet. So we do our best we can to sustain the sport because we're not there yet. So I'll probably best at like an indoor spot where I can make a nice little space and have like a nice little like a seats where people can sit and watch instead of walking the courts, like a broadcast center. I'll invest in that and many other things, but it's a lot. I'll put like trophies, handballs. It's just a lot, man.
Let's talk about handball things that people could buy. Like a lot of people say like, oh, handball can't go nowhere because there's not things to sell and make money off of. You know what? There is things like handballs, gloves, or knee braces where like if you fall on the floor, like to save you from that. Headbands for the sweat. There's a lot of things you can sell in handball, no?
Oh, you can. You just have to value yourself. I say people buy LeBrons, right? Because it brings value, right? This is about lead by example. You value your reputation. People follow that footstep and they want to buy what you want. So you could pull up by selling the Saeed shirts or the Velez shirts. The favorite, but it has to be meaningful to it. The people know if that's BS we're selling. If you're selling good products where they can wear every single day, now you're making money. You're making it meaningful. If you sell it correctly, you show them why you should sell it to these people, they'll buy it. Now they buy it, they'll test it out. They like it, they'll recommend you. You know what? You'll buy these gloves. It's nice. Feels good. It dries fast and it don't break.
Thank you very much for a fantastic tournament that you wanted to run through.
Of course.
Okay. One of the reasons that handball does not want to go into is because we do not have the profitability. Okay, pickleball, okay, which is basically ghetto tennis, which I wound up coming onto the scene, which one of the reasons that it makes a splash and a splurge is because of the items that they're selling for an abundance of money. What are you selling a handball for? T-shirts for? What are you selling handball or headbands? You're not going to wind up making the money off of that as you do a racket and a net. That right there is the one reason that pickleball is so famous or whatever the case may be. What the hosts need to wind up doing, okay, A players, they need to wind up with money and a trophy. And you wind up setting your standards to what it is that you're trying to wind up doing. C players, you get a trophy because you're trying to wind up getting into the ranks. B players, you get some money or you don't get a trophy. Whatever it is, you set the standards for what it is that you're trying to go through and stop trying to raise the pot more than what it is. Have what you say that you're going to have in the pot. First place, $1,000. Second place, $600. Third place, $200. Okay, and you may have an MVP. Once that money is allocated and it is sent out, everything else is none of your fucking business.
All right. To overcome that is education. and lead and show that it's not about money, it's about loving the sport and be good at what you do. And your dream is to become the best player in the world. We should have that mindset and love what we do and be good at what we do. By all of us to show people it's not about this, about what we do. And that's what it is. But it is about the money, regardless. Even though it gets very, very uncomfortable, but that's what it's all about. The US Open is 10 grand. I see a lot of playing doubles players playing that. And they hate singles. But why they playing that? Because it's money to take. I get it. Open tournaments, A tournaments, great. The organizations, great job. I love it. I wish handball should be like that every time for A players. But it's not always about the money. It's about loving the sport. I love Saha. I love the Impact Pro. Amazing, right? They keep the sport like great. But it's not about the money, bro. It's about loving the title. I won events where I got trophies with no money. I don't care about that because I love the sport. If I'm rare, I'm different. Everybody has their own different opinions. It's really about the money, reality. But what can we do differently is of the sport. Lead by example. Even you, even though you're a B player, which is your amateur player, it doesn't mean that you can lead by example. It could start with you, and they'll look at you like, oh, this guy's an amazing guy. You can show one kid the sport, and you don't even need to tell like the kid that you're A player. You say, you know what, I'm a decent player. I love this game. He'll probably still see you as an A player because the way you carry to the sport. And it's all about inspiring others, and that's how you spread the love and the message to the sport.
Ultimately, USHA is handball, and I feel like everyone in the community that's involved in the politics should all come together under USHA. That's just how I feel.
I think that whoever does it the best and the most successful, that's who we follow.
But the thing is, now we're talking about money, right? But we don't have a lot of money in the sport, so we gotta pile up all our money in one place. And that would be a lot of money. But now we all have different money. We all have different pockets. So now the money is spread it out everywhere and we have no money. Where in reality, we could literally put all that money together and actually do something for the sport.
That's what's crazy about handball, man. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody want to be top dogs.
You're right.
You know, like they want to be, you know what? I did that, you know.
They want to be the savior.
Yeah, they want to do that. And yeah, it's kind of selfish because why do that if we could do it together?
Yeah, and that's the only way that it will be possible.
I was like 7-8 years. I've been wholesale on my own. It's not easy to do, man, and it's not worth it.
So why don't you never try to get on the board with the USHA? Become
I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm open to anybody. I'm never.
Have you ever reached out to them about like joining forces?
Never, but I never thought about that. Cause like I said, like at the time, like I wanted to be a player instead of host. But if they asked me like to be part of them, I wouldn't mind. Like. What you want me to do? I'll do it.
Like it would be so awesome. Imagine all these players. I mean, all these tournaments that you threw were all sanctioned by the USHA, and like now people are wearing goggles. They're following a rule set. Like I think it would be awesome.
When it comes to structure, they're the best to do it because like the rule book, everything. The rule book, they have all the tools and they have all the answers. So, yeah. I'll be honest. Like before, I was ignorant and I was like, oh, that's probably a small ball. But when I read it and we understood it, it made more sense. So I read the whole book and I'm always learning and be better as a player.
And like you said, they have an actual structure. They're an actual organization. They essentially is the sport as we know it. And if Handball United, you or anybody that Ryan Morales that throws tournaments, and if it was all under the same umbrella USHA, it doesn't have to be USHA. But if we were all in the same umbrella and it was sanctioned by the same company, that's what we need to do. That's why I'm like, I don't even want to talk about the money because there is no money to talk about.
That's why we're here to, what can we do to make it better? But right now, we're at that level, right? We're trying to not get to that. Because we've seen it many times, right? Too many politics, too many conflicts, right? We're trying to make it better. So what can we do to make handball big without worry about the money part? You know, to me, the money always comes. Just right now, let's focus on the love and the structure and education of building the sport. That's what we focus on. And if we do that, the world will be a better place. But it don't take me. We need more than me.
Beautifully put, and that was my main point. That was my main point where I'm trying to get at when I was asking you about sportsmanship conducts from back in the day to today. Only because the only way, other than money, the way we could grow the sport where I see it is like if there was more mutual respect in the community amongst each other, which we're very, very lacking.
It's hard because everybody that we ref are our friends. So they're comfortable we talk. We need someone who's unbiased, right? Who's not who's not cool to them like that, which is hard to do. But take like Larry is one of few, right? He's cool with certain people.
But I'm not talking about the organization, though. I'm talking about the players themselves. They should be able to play a finals without a referee. I'm not saying they should do that, but I'm saying they should be able to. You can't officiate a game amongst yourselves. You're literally trying to cheat the other person for a point, for a little bit of the pot money, for a side bet you made. You're trying your best to do everything unholy to get to your goal, which is now you're not playing a handball game. Now you're just literally fighting for some money right now. Like, it's a fisticuff. Like, this is not a sport anymore. That's just how I feel. Like people are blatantly cheating in a game. People be like fishing. I mean, you can't call fishing cheating, but you're essentially trying to cheat, and we see that a lot.
Unfortunately, in the real world, we can't change the characters. That's who they are. If you want to cheat, they gotta cheat. That's not their job. It's the ref's jobs. They see they cheating or any other red flags. It's their job to make it happen. So yes. So I mentioned about the refs. It's very important. The ref is the main factor of the tournament because people like that will cheat. You say yourself that they should be cheating. They should be fair. But in reality, people don't want to do that.
Now you're saying it's the ref's job, it's the host's job, or the linesman's jobs, but guess what? That's not an actual job as a linesman. Like, you're not getting paid to do it. You're another player that's invested into the tournament, that's participating in the event. It's essentially like he's volunteering, but how much can you really get from a person that's volunteering to do something? So like, essentially at the same time, we're all friends and we're all doing this together. If you're really trying to cheat somebody that you're playing against, the person that's reffing the game is in the same boat as you that's physically playing the game. So if you cheat, there's only so much the ref could do. We're all friends. Like, guess what? You're playing a game, the next game you gotta ref another game. Now, it's like you're switching your mindset from player to host, but we're all in the same umbrella. We're all playing for the same pot money that we put in. It's not a third party. You're saying we need a third party. That's what you're saying. I get it. I feel the same way as well. But the events that we're throwing right now, we're doing it amongst ourselves. Now, if we do it amongst ourselves, we can't grow the sport if we're literally... It's like you taking money from your own family. That's what we're doing, basically. I'm going inside my dad's pocket and I'm stealing money from him. But if you steal money from your dad, you're basically stealing money from yourself. That's what I'm seeing in the culture right now. We're stealing from each other.
It is, but the reason why we do that because not many hosts could afford refs. Because the players want us to host tournaments every time with them, right? David will be double next week, but we can't keep investing that for ourselves for you guys because we're not getting anything from the sport. It's been for you guys. Like in the course, they don't want to hear it because they have time to save money to invest it on one sport so they could structure the tournament by paying refs and many more things. Just like handball and trophy, you gotta be prepared. Doing back to back, it's not easy to do. But you want to do a tournament, at least to consider it and help out.
Yeah, as the players.
Yes.
So when you say help out, exactly. How about you stop trying to cheat your opponent and you actually help the ref? Now, my thing is like, I try to help you out in events, right? Like ref a game or whatever. But people are coming to me when I'm reffing a game, like blatantly, like word for word. People be like, oh, I'm not supposed to teach you your job. Oh, you gotta know the rules. Like, they're blatantly telling me this, but guess what? All I'm trying to do here is to help you. So you complaining to me and it's not helping nobody. You're supposed to essentially help me help you, but people don't want to do that. Like, you're not realizing the disconnect. Like, guys, I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm about to play you next round. Let's just all be friends and let's just play the game. People are not understanding that. It's such a disconnect. It's amazing.
It's because of the people's background, and we can't prevent that. You know, everybody grew up differently. Like, you probably grew up without being fair. You know, their life they haven't. You know, they probably play all their lives. So you know what? Hey, you're gonna play me, I'm gonna play your back. It's all the hate, right? We don't know why they do what they do, but I know for a fact they didn't grow up all flower and daisies. It was all about hate, fire, smokes, and smoking mirrors, right? A lot of things, right? And all the years they build up and they do what they do, and sometimes they can help themselves and it comes who they are. And unfortunately, we can't control people to become good. You want me bad? Be bad. You want to cheat? Want to cheat. You want to be great? Great, right?
And earlier you did say it's about education, and you're absolutely right.
So if you feel like that haven't gone nowhere because of the behaviors, it starts what? newer players. All the ones who's trying to understand, you lead them. The ones who corrupted, we can't help them. They're already done, all right? Unless somehow they see a vision and they become a changed man. It starts with one person to leave us somebody else to the point that we're the same page and then we'll grow more. Me, I could do that. Recently, I train a 7-year-old kid, right? For free, because I'm leading by example. I feel like all the age should do that. Not only age, just be players to anybody. It's about building and expanding the right way. That's why in Europe, there's so many kids there because they lead by example. And mind you, they don't play like we play. But yet, they lead by example, they explain the fundamentals and why it's a fun sport. You know, it's better than being in trouble. You're out there, having a great time, to work out, having a great sweat, and you play your best. And then on top of all, you having fun. They have it over there, we don't have it here anymore. Like for you, Saeed, you're the future. You're in mid-20s, you're growing every time. You're seeing things that what it should be that way, but it needs to be done in some way. So it can start with you, lead by example. And then from there, it'll spread others. But you gotta be dedicated what you believe in. Because you can't let that one day, you know what, I'm help this kid out. The next day, you deal with some BS in handball. And now, you know what, I don't want to do no more. It's all mental. So you gotta be dedicated to expand and show people why this sport is great. I do it to this day. All the good tournaments, I go all out just for you guys. People see that. How they see that? They support. When you support, you have a community, you have organizations, and you're expanding. Today, I didn't get no bad outcome. David, I love it. Next year, I can't wait. That's what's all about. Expand it and lead by example for the right purpose.
I get a lot of backlash when I ref, right? And somebody asked me like, yo, why you keep putting yourself in this position? And I just told them, you know what? I love it. Like, it's fun. Why do you put yourself in this position to be criticized by the community?
I feel like 90% of them aren't doing it. Somebody gotta do it to be different, and I want to be different. I feel like people get backlash and they can't handle that pressure because it's a lot.
But why you do it personally?
Because I want to figure out mentally how to handle the situation correctly without getting any backlash, and teach them, you know what, hey, I know you're doing this, but let me show you how to do certain things so you can see how I'm doing it. That way next time you can prevent all the conflicts. Oh, okay, I like how you did that. You know what, I'm gonna try that, and it works.
And absolutely, and the reason I put myself in that reffing position, even though I get so much backlash, is because I don't agree with a lot of people on how they ref. So, but now it's like, if I don't agree with them, where am I gonna find the answers? It's only up to me to find the answers at this point. So that's why I ref, because I'm trying to find the answers as well. So essentially, you're doing the same thing. You're trying to find a solution.
Jared does clinics.
Yeah.
And that also is important. So he could explain to you how to become a better ref. We're not asking the refs. We're just paying them to ref because they know the rules, but they don't know how to handle it. It's different. Like, they know how to make calls. Now, if they cry over a call, how can you handle that? It's different. Now you gotta figure out how to put your foot down and not make it as bad as it is. You're trying to make them stay quiet and just keep playing. Like, guys, just don't complain. Just keep playing. You gotta figure it out. Nah, I can't do this no more. He's got a pocket with me. I'm gonna fight this guy because he's just trying to play me. No, you want to be here. You never stood down anybody's level. You want to be different. You're doing this, yes, by force, but also you're learning. Because I'm pretty sure when you ref, I'm pretty sure the next time you ref, you want to be better. And that's what I'm trying to explain to the people. Like Reggie, right? There's some good things and there's some bad things that they say about him. But guess what? Does that stop him? No. He still learns. Now he's like level 3 certified ref. Like, he's still pursuing as a ref.
He has not changed.
And guess what? To me, that's a role model.
Yeah, exactly. He never let anything affect his mood.
And guess what? Is he a bad person? No. Inside and outside handball, great guy. Always smiling, always get great feedbacks, never just nobody's tournaments.
Such a rounded guy.
Rounded guy, right? Easygoing guy, right?
Yeah.
That's the perfect example. That's why it was an honor to have him as my ref.
Yeah.
And many other refs too, right? I want them to have like him. Also, when you ref tournaments, you're in business. There's no friends. Put your pride aside, do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
When it's over, it's all love.
I had a lot of controversy moments with Reggie. I had a period where I did not like Reggie reffing at all. I just thought he used to make bad calls. Like, okay, people make mistakes, I get it, but but then that influences me to think he's a bad ref. But I went through that with Reggie, but now I came to a point where he's not a bad ref. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Reffing is not only just knowing the rules, it's also how you conduct yourself as a ref to the players. Reffing is not just about the rules. There's a lot more that goes to it that Reggie understands. Again, he never let all these backlashes get to his head. He keeps day in and day out doing the best job he can. And shout out to Reg for that.
That's why every event he wanna come ref, he's always in. That is consistent. You don't give up what you do. You don't let no bad backlash get to you. You know why? And also, you also love what you do, and it's rare to find people like that. Finding refs now is like finding a needle in a haystack. It's not easy to do. People can't deal with that kind of pressure mentally, because we know that if any player say any slick words to a ref, especially to a wrong ref, they're gonna drop the clipboard and start fighting the guy, and it's not worth it. And you do all that for what? Like, you know, Facebook, that's the most talked about. That overshadows the tournament.
Yeah.
Honestly, anybody goes tournaments. It's just, you gotta learn how to handle it, and that's it. And be a bigger man. Keep it cool, never go down a level. Okay, cool. I'm sorry to hear that. You walk away, you do your thing, you get it done. At some point, they're gonna see your posture and how you move things. They're gonna stop bothering you, because they're gonna see you don't care about that. You make sure that everything is run smoothly. That's your main goal. You're not worried about one person, because if you worry about one, then you worry about more. Your purpose is to make sure that everything goes well. That's your main focus, your main goal. And you got to focus on that goal and not care about what they think about you. At the end of the day, that's one person. That's not most. I'd rather do it one person than everybody else. If one guy hits my event, oh, Dave, I got cheated, I'm not coming again. To this day, 10 years later, right? To this day, I get some players like, you know what? Tournament sucks. I hate your refs. I'm not coming again. Blame it on me. Cool. I don't sweat it. But then, I got most. David, I love your event. I'm coming next year. I'm gonna go with that energy. So I'm not stopping because of one headache to get to me.
Yeah.
It's one headache. In reality, you can't please everybody. And I feel like people have to understand that. As he said one thing, the way he said was perfect. You can't expect high expectations. Always low expectations. Handball, you think, okay, it's gonna be great. No one's not gonna argue. It'll come smoothly. All of a sudden, X, Y, Z. Oh, he did this, he did that. You're at this tournament, you're at this ref. You're not ready for that. You're not prepared. You was prepared for the happiness and the flow and the sportsmanship.
All fairness, whatever that means.
Yeah, like that doesn't exist. Eddie said it better. You cannot expect high expectation. Focus on what you could do. You learn, you build from it, and then you get better. At that point, that expectation will come. Just don't expect that automatically. Because it takes your experience to be where you're at. To be great, it takes experience and skills.